Hey guys, how you doing? Haven't uploaded to this channel for a little while. I try not to do that. I try to keep things rolling and updating, but just been busy. I've been just trying to get things done for the main channel and do some things for that. Try to get the videos rolling for that. You know, this month just caught up fast. I mean, next thing you know it, here we are. We're burning the first week of the first month, and it's just, you know, it just popped up. So just trying to get some things ahead for that. Things on the weather end out here has just been ridiculous. It just rains every day. So picked up some more root beer, IBC root beer. I just have a thing about root beer. I love root beer, and I'm not really much of a Coca-Cola guy or anything like that. There's just something about root beer I like. I get these are IBC. I get these at Target, and they run about $4. They run about $4 for a six, a package of 6. You know, I like it. It's actually one of, although I don't know, I like sarsaparilla. It's my thing, but there's only one place in here in this town that I found that sells it, and it's a gas station, or not a gas station, I'm sorry, it's a hardware store. Oh, that's refreshing for the night. Yeah. Oh, what was that? Man, it's some car backfiring or something. What is it? We're coming up to 10 o'clock at night here, and decided to turn on the camera and do this. But cool thing, we had I got my winning from Mr. Holster. Mr. Holster, cool. He does his thing, the sock show, every Friday, and interesting enough that when I decided to do my thing called the JW's Radio that I'm doing every Saturday morning, going on 16 episodes now. 16. That's you know, and for it to have caught on the way it did, it really was just a shot in the dark. It's something I always wanted to do. Was something like that, was to do, like, in a sense, it's like the news of the channel, really, and just kind of add the human side to the channel. You know, you see a lot of the gun reviews, the tabletop reviews, the shooting at the range, some silly videos, but it also adds that human side to the channel that I wanted to add and bring to the main channel. Is this channel too is a nice company to the main channel, you know. So, but anyway, when I decided to do that, I had no idea that Mr. Holster actually was doing something called the Sock Show, and I believe that stands for Scott's Other Coffee Show. But really cool guy, big John Wayne fan. Just, you know, became friends with him. Really neat. So he does a giveaway on his sock show. Pretty much, it seems like every single time. He usually does a trivia, something. You answer the question or whatever. And if you get it right, he'll draw your name out of a hat. You know, no pun intended that I want a hat. But anyway, I had no idea he was doing that too, so it's kind of interesting, you know. We both have this thing, and I just happened to pick Saturday morning to do mine, and he's on Friday Eastern time. I think it's 7 Central or 7 o'clock or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's just but no. Cool. You know, this was a hat that he showed, and it's a Voodoo Tactical hat, and it's got the American flag on it. Peel that off and everything like that. So cool. And it even has a Velcro on the top. Not sure what that's for. Maybe if you guys know, let me know in the comments what that is for. No, Voodoo Tactical, cool hat. I like these hats, you know, but that's removable, so that's kind of neat, you know. The American flag, keep that there, keep it proud, keep it going. I can't believe that they're making people take down their American flags in America. That is just disgusting. That's pitiful. That is just, you know, get the hell out of this country. You know, seriously. That just upsets me when you get guys that are, I'm offended by the American flag. Well, then leave America, you know. Go to the Middle East or something, or go somewhere else and see how you like your rights over there, where you ain't got none. Okay? You know, it may seem like we're losing a lot of our rights, but we still got some, you know. And anyway. A friend of mine picked up some of this 22, they call it Agilia super subsonic stuff. We ran it out onto the range. You know, it was almost, we didn't know if it was going to rain or not, but it was a quick video that we wanted to throw together. Basically, I stacked up about 30 something CDs, 38 CDs on a big stack, taped them together and bunched them together, and we hung it up, and we wanted to see if the bullet would go through, you know, how many of them it'll pierce or whatever. The results actually kind of surprised me, but these super subsonic or sniper subsonics that we picked up, is they're like 60 grain bullets. And it's weird is because if you guys know what a CB short looks like, it looks like the shell of a CB short with this like giant chunk of lead. So we loaded it up in my my pump action 22 rifle, and we shot it. And I don't know if I got to get a new camera or not, but you know, we filmed a little bit of a sequence that day. We also shot it with a CB short. Darn camera did not pick it up. I don't know. It just seems, you know, and believe it or not, this is the camera that I use is the second camera I've used, I bought, that is the same model, everything. I had to buy it on Amazon.com to replace it. The very first one I bought from Kmart. And the reason I like this camera is because I can pretty much cut and paste right there on the camera for a little bit, you know, for the most part, and then at least get it close to where if I need to, when I throw it on before I upload it, I can snip out certain sections that I didn't want to use or whatever. I found it was just not, you know, either it was just an outtake or whatever. We just left it, snip it out in the main cut, and then you know, you guys see the finished product. But every now and then this camera glitches out, you know. I don't know, you know. I think eventually here I need to maybe get a bigger camera, one of those bigger, you know, cameras. I don't know. The one I use is real handheld, nice little handheld camera. But see, the thing about my YouTube channel, the main channel, including this one too, like this one's more relaxed on the videos and just kind of tossing stuff around. But you know, the main channel, I care about the quality of the video. I care about what we're doing. I do like to make sure that whatever it is that we're talking about, the center point, if it's a gun, that you guys see the gun. You're not looking at a desk full of stuff and, you know, like, oh, look, the guy's got a pink pencil or, you know, or whatever. Over there, I always kind of go on those reviews like, what am I watching here? You know, or the guy will do a video and, you know, I'm not trying to rag on anybody, but they're talking about a product and they're doing this, and it's like, you know, I kind of wanted to make videos that I wanted to see. You know, if I was going to look at a product, you know, I wanted to see it as close up in detail as I could possibly look at it, you know, so. Just wanted to make sure the quality of the videos were there. You know, stuff I would like to see. Kind of like, but yet still keeping it polished, but not too polished, if you know what I mean. Not wanting to make a video where it's like, it feels so cleaned up that you're watching a commercial. You know, it's like, you know, am I watching a commercial here? You know, you know, but we've been getting a lot of help from certain people, which is really neat, especially from Badman Bullets. You know, he really makes it happen. Patrick over there at Badman Bullets has been such a supporter for Batjack JW. Really, you know, he was the first one to jump on that and say, here, let me help you out, you know, and send us some lead. Guys like that, you know, that help us out, because we really run on a shoestring budget. We do not have a lot of money. You know, just everything is just really tight. So if we can get a gun here and there from a friend or somebody that is willing to say, hey, you know, you can borrow my gun, do a video on it, we're gonna do it, you know, definitely, because it's basically being able to bring to you folks more stuff. So anyway, out in the channel, by the time you see this, maybe if you get around to watch, I'll upload this tonight, but tomorrow, officially tomorrow would be the release of where I got a chance to review a Smith & Wesson Model 36, the classic line from the classic, you know, lineup from Smith & Wesson, and to see what the new stuff looked like. I got a 629 that's a stainless newer model with the key lock and all that stuff. I like it. You know, it's really a nice throwback. It's nice to be able to pick up a brand new Smith revolver like that. That's like the vintage ones, only, you know, it's modern. It's newly manufactured. It's got the MIM parts, machine injected metal. Some people don't like that, but I'll tell you a benefit of those things, like the MIM parts compared to the older parts. Those MIM parts, you're actually, because I do a lot of trigger jobs on Smiths, I try not to remove metal. I try to just polish contact points. But if you go too far with those other Smiths, the older Smiths, the parts, you'll cut through the hardened steel on the, you know, where they case harden it or whatever, and you'll soften it, and you can actually you know, break parts or wear parts out. If you pull the hammer back and push on it, you might get, you know, force it to trip off. But the MIM parts are hardened solid all the way through, you know, so you can, you know, you don't have to worry about that kind of a thing. So, you know, there is a benefit to it. I myself really have not noticed any. The only thing I really don't like really is just the key lock. I don't like the key lock, but then again, all it is really just a little circle that's there. The only thing that really does stand out cosmetically is the cylinder release latch. I don't like that, you know, slanted off cylinder release latch. I like the big fat key that is there for your thumb to just contact it, push it forward. I feel with the other one, there's less contact on it, so I'm just kind of not a fan of it. But as much complaining as we do on it, I'm just grateful that Smith still produces them, and still, you know, you can still go buy them. You know, you can still go and search and get a brand new Model 29 Dirty Harry gun. You can still go and get a new Model 10 if you wanted, versus like one of my favorite companies, Colt, that doesn't do that. You know, Colt, that's it. The only revolver they still make out there is their single action cowboy gun, which is so damn expensive that I don't want to spend, you know, $1,500, $2,000 on a revolver that I'm going to take to the range, and it may get scratched, or it may get holster wear or whatever. You know, I like to throw it in my leather holster and go trucking up the Coffee Lands or wherever. I don't want to worry about, you know, man, if I drop that thing, it's $2,000. So, but, you know, that's it. They make their 1911s, and they make, you know, I think the Mustang, I think that the 380, and that's about it. They don't really make anything else. You know, the other thing is, their thing is the AR-15s and their 1911s, and I think with the way everything is going in 1911s, and you have the Polymer Wonder stuff, you have the Glocks, and pretty much every company that is now mimic the Glock in some way. You know, you got Springfield Armory. I believe they were the first guys to criticize Glock for producing a plastic gun. Now they have a Glock of their own. Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson, I think, is one of the smarter companies, that is from the past times that has kept up with things. Smith & Wesson is, I think, a very smart company because they grew with the times, yet still offering and still manufacturing their older type style revolvers. They still make a blued wood gripped revolver. At the same time, they released their M&P line with their Polymer Wonder type pistols, which is similar to a Glock, but their own twist on it and everything like that, along with keeping up with the AR-15s and whatnot and what have you. I think that's a smart move. They looked at the times. Unfortunately, one of my favorite companies, Colt, seemed to neglect that and not follow that. So maybe that's because that. Maybe that's what happened with their bankruptcy. Not enough people want to buy a Colt. I know when I was first looking at the Colts, I was looking into a 1911. Man, it was like this, oh man, you say that name Colt, it's like somebody just mentioned oh yeah, I want to spend $1,000 something on a, or whatever. But they're expensive. They're not cheap. They're expensive, and yeah, I like them. The Colt 1911 is still definitely one of the finer 1911s you could shoot. Although I do like my Kimber, but the Colts never gave me any issues. And I'm not saying that the Kimber gave me a big issue, but they did have that slide stop that wasn't fitted correctly when I bought the gun. And they took care of it. They sent it to me right away, and it fixed the problem, and then never had a problem since. But again, I must say with Colt, it's been problem free all the way through, and they still make. And there's just something sexy about a Colt. It's one thing. It's like a motorcycle. You can have any kind of motorcycle, but there's something when you say, "I have a Harley Davidson." It's kind of like that. Okay, on the other note, what are we working on here? I guess this is the first time I'm going to really break the news on this. I have been trying to save my money, but been looking into a trade. I actually may trade a 1911. Speaking of 1911s, not a Colt. I may trade a 1911 and some other stuff, accessories with it, for a different gun. Not necessarily, I don't want to really buy a gun with hard cash. I want to kind of work on a trade. But been looking at a Walther P99. And if I can get one, if I can get it traded and get it so where I'm not spending any money on it, like hard cash on it, then I'll do it. But because acquiring another gun was really the last thing on my list at this point in life right now, with all the things I'm juggling around with trying to do. But anyway, a big relief for all that was to figure out that a friend of mine with an FFL license, he's able to help me out with getting my guns shipped off this island when I intend to move, if I come to that point. But no, if I can get this trade settled up, I'd like to get the Walther P99. Mainly because I want another Polymer Wonder pistol, and me being driven by movies, the P99 is synonymous with James Bond. A lot of times when you think of James Bond, you think of the Walther PPK, but you don't think about the P99. Pierce Brosnan actually is the first Bond to show up with it. And he showed up with it in the Tomorrow Never Dies, his second Bond movie. And he used it from Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, To Die Another Day, and it carried on over to Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. Until I think maybe they just had so much heat on it, maybe the nostalgia of the PPK, and it being just Bond's gun, all the ruckus they came up with it, maybe they went back to the PPK. And if you ask me, yes, I understand for the movie's sake, he has the PPK, but in the other sense, it's like, but the P99, I mean, because it's like, if you think about the PPK, is like, that's a 380, I mean, he's Bond, he should have something, I mean, and if you look all the way back to this, I mean, you were talking about the 1960s, when he had the PPK, when it was cool. I mean, it's still cool, but they didn't have what they have now. And if you're changing up with the times, and I mean, if you look at, I mean, obviously, if you look at, Dr. No or From Russia with Love, and compare it to, like, Quantum of Solace, what Bond goes through physically is just like, the guy's either got to be dead or on a whole bunch of cocaine, because how did he keep, so Daniel Craig, to give him his respect, I mean, dude, that guy probably beat the hell out of his body, so you can't blame him too much for, because you watch Quantum of Solace, and honestly, I never really sat down and watched it until before Spectre came out. I did see it, I just didn't actually, like, sit down again and watch it, and you're just like, wow. It's just like, from the beginning of I mean, first, it just opens up with him just like completely tearing ass with his car, and just like getting completely thrown around, bullets flying at him, just completely an array of just, he's just like constantly being besieged through the whole movie, and it almost seems like he has no stopping, like there's just non-stop for like 2 hours. So anyway, what I'm saying is, if you look at it, it's like, things should have changed, like, I mean, how is this guy still, I mean, how is he encountering all this and yet still fending people off with a 380? Not that we're saying the 380 is a pea shooter or something, any big chunk of lead coming at you is, any lead projectile coming at you, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's not going to be fun, but, you would think you would be carrying a 9mm or something, or maybe upgrade to the Walther PPQ. But anyway, I'll show you guys something. You see, that's how much of a Bond fan I am. I actually have my Walther PPK, and I have it in 22. Mine is in 22. I have one in 32 ACP somewhere. But this, I had to have this, because this 22, just take it to the range and you can shoot 22, and it's a fun little gun. It's been through a lot with me. It's definitely got some abuse and use on it. It's definitely got some wear, but it's still all there. It's not too beat up. But anyway. Yeah. But yeah, somebody actually commented. They said one time, "Man, you beat the heck out of your guns." I would, honestly, my range guns are tools. I mean, they go to the range. They get, they get tossed around sometimes. I mean, I'm not saying I toss around some of my, Smith & Wesson revolvers or anything like that. But when it comes to like a Glock or something that I purposely bought like as a workhorse gun, it gets its fair share of use. My cowboy guns, my Rooster shooter, that thing has been through some mileage with me, and it's been thrown in the water, it's been dived and dropped and everything. So, but anyway, figured I'd ramble on with you folks tonight, and just finally keep the Combat 86 radio show up to speed in what's been going on, and got my Mr. Holster winnings for the sock show, the hat. So, and everything's still kind of a mess. Did my giveaway on my JW's radio. Appy Dogs did contact me with his shipping information, and that's cool, because I like doing the giveaway, because it gave me a chance to give back, a lot that the people give me. you know, their support, their views, they're keeping the channel rolling. The numbers are just keep growing on the main channel. Amazing. You know, I coming up here July 4th, 2 years on YouTube, guys, 2 years, and looking at how much it's grown, how much traffic it's done. I can't thank you enough. Amazing. It really is. You guys made it happen. Without you folks, I mean, be no reason doing this. So, I thank you. Alright. Signing off for now. Thanks for hanging out. A little rambling. Not much to talk about, but thanks for being here.